This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, so let's start. So all of you are from the same time zone? Anyone from other than India time zone?
I'm
Hello.
currently in Perth.
Okay. So it's you. I meant like what's the time there right now?
11:36 p.m.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So let's begin. So welcome everyone to the course on DB optimization, or you can call performance engineering. But I will go with the name optimization, which is basically the DB tuning, and it plays a very vital role, especially if you're into domains like SAP and where the DBs play a very vital role. And obviously any other application, every application will have DB in the backend. So anywhere where the DB is a bottleneck or it happens to be a bottleneck, this course will be like a game changer for those who are looking into that part, or not even that part. If you are getting into the optimization of your architecture and all, so this course will guide you, or I will not say help you, but you will automatically get those insights of how to tune or how to optimize your system, your DB. Okay, so just before I go deep into the course, or deep dive into the course syllabus and all, just want to understand the audience a bit so that I get an idea where I should focus on, what are the key areas which I should give more stress on, right? Based on the audience, what I have. So let's start with Rohit. You can go ahead. Just you can call
So,
out like what you're currently working on and what's your
Mhm.
expectations, maybe. Okay, what you have from the course. Yeah.
so
Yeah,
currently
Rohit.
I'm working in Australia as a performance test engineer.
Yeah.
So usually, if I find out any database issues, I'll just point it out to the DBs and sometimes developers. So
Hmm.
I just wanted to do more than just the testing. I just wanted
Yes.
to. I can see the analyze the DB usages and everything, but I'm unable to rectify the
Correct.
next level towards that. So that's the main
Hmm.
area I'm looking for, and
Okay. Mhm.
wanted to ask more questions, which I'll be asking later.
Yes, yes, sure, sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, Rohit. That was a really like good objective or a goal, I will say, because and exactly it's a goal of generally, like if you see 80% or 70% who join the sessions, I heard the same statements, because what happens is, as a performance test engineer, or when we optimize something, we generally give only the issue, but what's the recommendation, or what's the problem area and how to resolve it, those answers are generally not given by the testers, and the developers have to spend their time on that. And due to that, what happens is, the visibility which the testers have to, like, or which the testers will get or should get, right, that developers will get, right, because they are the people who try to fix those issue, and they find, but we were the people who found that issue, right, at the first point. So we could have got that visibility, could have added more value, but due to that simple things, okay, which if we knew, or if we know, we would have made a difference, right? So yeah, exactly. Thank you, Rohit. Thanks for the uh,
Thank you.
yeah. Let's go to LK. Short form. Yeah. I think yeah, let's go to the next, Aditya.
Yeah, hi Vishnu.
Hi,
Currently,
Aditya.
I'm in performance testing engineering part.
I think
So
we
actually,
already met, right? I think.
yeah. In
Yeah.
previous batch, I think Jmeter batch we met.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, great.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah. Actually,
nice meeting you again.
yeah,
So how's everything going on?
yeah. It's good, all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So actually, I never had an opportunity to work on the like I had only work on the tenant-based application which contain MySQL,
Okay.
and we
Mm-hmm.
do not
Okay.
have any that much scope into the performance a database side. So I want to explore on database side now. Actually, I have more exposure onto the server side engineering. but not into the DB side.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so exactly, right? So this will give you a further exposure and even the confidence, because generally why we find the issues somehow, but we
Correct.
lag in that confidence, due to which we don't bring it to the people, right? Because we feel, oh, maybe I'm right or maybe I'm not right. So what we do a one-on-one, maybe a Teams chat with the person, and but what happens in the one-on-one chat is that that main credit or that visibility never happens, right?
Yeah.
So that confidence is also one important point which you should get from the course, or like not only course, based on the knowledge what you have. So automatically you will be having, like, you'll just go in pitching, right, wherever you can. So yes, that
Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Vishnu,
Yeah.
I have some question. Just two
Yeah.
questions. First of all, we are on which database side we are focusing more on
Yeah,
Oracle or
currently it is, yeah,
MySQL?
currently what I can say is Oracle and MySQL. Okay. Other DBs like DynamoDB or like InfluxDB, Prometheus, those I will be giving only like a very a overview sort of thing, maybe not that much of hands-on. Okay.
Okay.
But mainly our focus will be Oracle and MySQL.
Okay. And we are playing with a like dummy database, like or
Okay. Yes, yes, correct. So we have our like a DB setup. So we will be learning how to optimize the DB in that database data setup. Yes. So I will
okay.
give you access to that virtual. Actually, it's a virtual box. Okay, so
Uh,
that virtual image I will give you. Automatically,
okay.
it will have all the data, everything. Yeah.
So we don't need to install
No need to
because
install. You just need to install VirtualBox. In that
okay,
VirtualBox, you need to import this image which I give you. Okay,
okay,
that's all. Yeah. And it's very easy only. I will be showing you how to do that. Yeah, won't be
okay.
difficult. Yeah, yeah. Let's go to Pathan. I like that name. Okay, Pathan. I remembered
Yeah,
my
hi.
favorite actor. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hi.
actually, my name is Salman. That my surname is Pathan.
Oh,
Thanks.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
So I'm working as a performance test analyst,
Okay.
and I would like to join this course. There is two perspectives. First is knowledge, and the second one is I'm also looking for a new opportunity.
Hmm.
So hopefully
Okay.
that it will be an advantage to that.
Yeah, that's also a very good point, because then I will share a story recently which happened. A person who just he had not even attended my sessions. He had taken my recordings. Okay, if I am correct. So what happened was um, he easily could crack an interview with the SAP product. Like, I can't name the company where he cracked, but the product was SAP based. I mean, like what they had, and it was very um, it was a very big organization. Okay, and they were not getting a person who can fine tune their SAP application, because their whole performance engineering activity was around DB, right? Because if you know, SAP's backend is mainly on the DB and all, right? If anyone has got got chance on that. So SAP applications are very much dependent on the DB on the background. So yeah, so obviously there are opportunities are many. Yes. Yeah, that's a good objective, Patan.
Yeah, actually, I haven't get the opportunity to work in the SAP, but I'm working in the
Mhm.
banking domain, which is a
Yeah,
web-based
yeah.
work
That
of
is
almost
fine.
3
That
years.
is fine. So why I said is the generally SAP, not in the development side, not like ABAP, HANA and all, but in the back end, right? Like there will be DBs, right? A lot of DB tuning and all, right? So it's more sort of, if there is no need for you to know SAP, but you need to know how the DB profiling or tuning happens, because DB is ultimately
So,
same for every, like for example,
so
even
how
SAP
much?
might use, yeah.
Okay,
Hmm.
Miss, I just want to know about one more thing, how it will be weighted on our resume as well. So it will be
Yes,
getting
yes,
a more
correct. So
chance to
see,
getting
what happens,
correct.
even SAP applications or any application, they will be using either Oracle or MySQL DB only. I mean, like the DB will be not SAP, right? So whatever we do, Oracle or MySQL, the DBs will be revolving around these type of DBs only, or maybe sometimes NoSQL DBs also, which are there in market. But generally, if you see 70% of the applications nowadays which are running, they will be on either Oracle or MySQL. Okay, so that's why we are learning that. And let it be SAP also. Background will be Oracle or MySQL, right? So that way you'll be able to do.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Let's go to Dev. Dev.
Hi, Vishnu. So
Hi.
yes, I am working in performance testing and performance test engineer. So
Yeah.
basically, the expectation of this course is basically to expand my horizon into performance engineering side, wherein which DB is mostly been one of the area which couple of other folks also mentioned that
Correct.
that is the area which is a little bit of on gray side, right? So we generally
Yeah.
don't put much of an attention unless just doing basic sort of stuffs and sharing the things. So
Yeah.
wanted to really understand, also wanted to cover different kind of DBs. However, you kind of mentioned that you're going to primarily focus on Oracle and SQL. Are
Yeah.
you also going to touch base a little bit on MongoDB or PostgreSQL, something of non-relational kind of a database?
Yes, yes. So what I will do, right? Like maybe not in-depth optimization and all. Like what I will say is, out of like let's say 20 sessions which we are planning, in each session of 1 hour. So maybe maybe 2 3 sessions or 2 2 hours on that, or 2 3 sessions on other DBs, what they are like. For example, like many have this doubt, what's the difference between a time series DB and what's a normal DB, what's a NoSQL, MySQL, what's the difference, and how they are better, on where to choose what. So such
Yeah.
basics we will try to go through, yeah, but not like
Okay.
in-depth optimization and all. Optimization we will focus on MySQL and Oracle.
But
Okay.
the idea that we eventually get from Oracle and MySQL will somehow relatable to the other non-relational
Exactly.
database,
Yes. Yes,
right?
exactly. Because that insight into how you find an issue, how you debug, and also like some other like for example, what are the like for example there will be some caching and all those things, right? So how they work, yes, those things are very much similar, right? They, you can easily do that. But generally, what
Yeah.
happens, right? So frankly, this DBs like DynamoDB and all, you don't have that much of a control there because that's directly provided by AWS, right? So there are some DBs which you cannot optimize much because already that on the DB side you don't have much optimization possible, but on your code side, right, the queries what you write, there
Hmm.
obviously you can optimize, and that will be common again if it's a SQL or no SQL, right?
Got it. So basic thing is, since I kind of know on a very surface level, but again,
Yeah.
wanted to really understand the most common or
Yes.
frequently coming DB kind of issues that it comes up.
Yeah.
How do we
Mhm.
really take an approach to kind of fine tune, and what are the parameters that we should be focusing on to understand
Mhm.
where the issue lies and how to really identify them? Because I
Correct.
think that is what my expectation out of the first getting started with the DB thing. So probably in
Yeah.
future we might go in much more depth. So that is what I am expecting out of this course.
Right, right.
And
Yeah, you
since
will enjoy it a lot because the we will be like deep diving into DB. I will not say DB optimization, even DBs, right? Like how the DBs work, what's their architecture, and you like enjoy this roller coaster ride, like because uh, the DBs are always a gray area where only the DBS we go to, right? And now in this generation where the market is so competitive, a component which is there in every architecture, right? It is DB, right? And we have to be good at that. Otherwise, like when we say learn about the architecture well, or you should have the understanding of the architecture well of the application. If you leave the DB behind, that's a very important component. And also, generally, if you see 20% to 30%, if your DB is not optimized, right? 20 to 30% minimum overhead will come from DB. So if you know how to optimize DB, you can easily reduce that 20 to 30% overhead, right? So yeah,
got it.
yeah,
So basically, it
and
also takes care
yeah,
of fine tuning kind of an activities also, right? Like how which sort of a
yes, right,
query
yeah.
need to
So
fine tune.
we have our dummy DB and dummy data. So basically, it's an organization data where we have HR records, we have employee data, we have different. So what we do on that is we pull the data, we try to find bottlenecks, we try to see how we read the reports which we can generate from that DB directly, okay, and how to analyze that report and how to fine tune it. So there is something called optimization, right? So first is finding the issue. So for finding the issue, you have multiple ways of doing it. Like you trace it, you have different tools available. So you how you use that tools. Then next method is after tracing, we find out, like, we analyze, right? So how you analyze it? What are the things you, and for analysis, little some basics you need to know. Like it's not that you need to know the SQL fully, right? MySQL or the SQL language, but you need to know something like some. What I can say, I have a list of pointers, right, which you can use like a checklist. Okay, like what are the scans happening? If it is an index scan or a full scan. So if it's an index scan, if it's a full scan, go for index scan. So that way you can optimize it. So such cheat sheets are there, okay, which I will provide. Okay, so that will make your life simpler. And also, obviously, I will be sharing some good materials which you can more read on. And it will be like what I will be doing mainly will be I will be focusing as a perspective, as a tester perspective, right? Not a development perspective. So that because when you go and study SQL, wherever you learn SQL, it will be like a developer perspective. So no one will teach you SQL as a testing perspective, which is totally different. Because you don't need to develop anything in SQL, but you as a tester, you will need something. Like for example, you don't need to know all those 100 things. You need to know only that 1% or 2%, which is required by the tester, right? Or an
Mm,
engineer.
mm.
So that I will be teaching. Okay.
Got it. So you
Yeah.
kind of answered me one of the questions, that how much amount of learning you're expecting that we should be knowing, or how strong we should be in SQL and
Mhm.
Oracle query. Got.
Correct.
And one last thing
Yeah.
that I wanted to
Mhm.
check, that what are the kind of different tools that you are going to include in as part of this course for this tuning and analysis for DB?
Yeah. So basically, we have MySQL Workbench and SQL Developer, right? So in that SQL Developer and MySQL Workbench itself, we can do a lot of stuff for monitoring the DB and finding issues and all. Then also we'll be trying to install and see Grafana, okay, and connecting our DB to Grafana and trying to monitor the DB performance in Grafana. Even we will see how to run a basic Jmeter test. Okay, but that is like, anyways, this course is not of Jmeter. Okay, but I'll be covering a high level way what is Jmeter and how to run a basic Jmeter test, if at all someone is new to Jmeter, of directly hitting the DB and studying the performance of the DB when the traffic is high. Okay, so because there are some things which you need to do in DB side based on the traffic, right? So that we will try to see in that way. So these will be the areas, and mainly the
And
monitoring, whatever we will learn, right? The TK Prof or AWR report generation, everything will happen in that MySQL developer and not the SQL developer and the MySQL workbench. Okay.
okay, so there is no freeware kind of a tool or open source tool
It's
which
free
can
only.
actually help us
If you have Oracle, obviously SQL developer is free. If you have MySQL, it's MySQL workbench. It's free. Everything is free only.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a free tool only, Dev. Yeah, and even JMeter is a free tool. Grafana Prometheus is a free tool, right?
But Oracle actually comes with a licensing cost, right? I mean,
Yeah,
like somebody doing
Oracle. I'm not saying Oracle. I mean, like Oracle is free. And what I'm saying is what we will be using, right, in our course will be free.
basically AWR and all those reporting things, right?
Yes, everything. Yeah, we will do in the SQL developer only. I will be giving you the image. You just need to download it and yeah, whatever I'm showing the hands-on and all, right, you can do it on that dummy DB and image which I give you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So you'll have the basically you'll have the DB ready. Okay, so you don't need to do anything setup or something. You just need to download VirtualBox. All the tool you will get directly by just importing the image which I give you to that VirtualBox. Okay, yeah. So thank you. Then let's go to anyone else. Jaya, Riaz, yeah, available. Okay, Sumi. Okay, so anyways, so I pretty much got the idea of our audience, and yeah, it was totally an insightful session. I mean, like conversation, because others would have also got a lot of their queries got answered, right? What I will get from this course, or like maybe in a high level way, what we will learn and all. But let's deep dive into what how our sessions will be. okay, or like how it will progress and what our sessions will be in that direction. Okay, so let's try to see that. So is my screen visible to all?
Mhm.
I guess it's loading right.
Yes, we can see.
Yeah. So generally, see, whenever we have a DB, right? DB itself is a very complicated thing in itself, right? Because it's not that just you have a DB, it stores something and it gives us something back. No, the DB itself has a complexity in itself. Like what I meant to say is like DB itself is like a mini PC. Okay, so whichever database you have in the background, it itself has an operating system sort of setup where it runs, and so the complexity of DBs are very unknown factor to many, right? Like we just, it's like a black box. Like, okay, we have a DB, we insert something, we get something, that's all. Many still have that doubt, like how, like generally how these things happen. It's not like straightforward. Okay, you send something, you get something. No, there are a lot of things which will happen in the background, inside the DB, outside the DB. So which we need to understand, right? So in our course, what we will do is, first of all, we need to understand DB very well, right? So that in that case, we will be mainly, as I said, covering two DBs, right? One is Oracle, which is generally a very common, like Oracle DBs are very common. Okay, if you see generally most of the applications, okay, very heavy applications, they will be in the background running on Oracle DB. And many companies, like big companies like Facebook, or if you name it, they all generally have Oracle on the background, right? So Oracle DBs are very strong DBs still. Okay, because why I use the word still is relational DBs are slowly coming. We'll learn what this relational DB, time series DBs and all are. But for now, okay, still what is happening is non-relational, NoSQL, such DBs are getting hold of the market. But still, we have Oracle and MySQL as the major players. Okay, because of their simplicity in use, bigger community, and also the developer community is big for these DBs, and that's why if you see 70% is still the applications which are there online are running on Oracle and MySQL. Okay. Now for Oracle, as I said, we have something called SQL Developer, and MySQL we have something called MySQL Workbench. So these are the two important, I can say, IDs, or we can say environments where you can uh, work on this DB. You can write your queries, you can optimize it, tune it. There are different performance monitors, so you can set it up, you can analyze. So these tools are very useful in that case. Okay. Now, generally, when you start learning about it, okay, just a minute. Okay, so now let's say uh, before we jump into, okay, what these DBs are, you need to understand how the architecture of the DB is like, because why the architecture is important. Okay, like for example, there are different components, as I said, inside DB. Okay, like the SGA, PGA, and a lot of other things. Okay, we will see all these in detail. But these things, each one by one, contribute to the performance, or to the the response time, or I can say how your queries are executed, right? So each of these components, if you don't know what all components are there inside the DB architecture or any Oracle or MySQL, in both there are slight changes in the architecture which we will see. We won't be able to fine tune it, right? So architectural understanding is very important before we deep dive into the Oracle. So we start with how to we start with how to understand how the Oracle and MySQL architecture is, right? So first we try to understand the architecture. Second, we see, now you want to find an issue, okay? Let's say I am a doctor. I want to find whether my patient has a heart issue or not. So what the doctor will suggest to do? Anyone?
ECG.
ECG, yes. So ECG is like basically a monitoring tool in our case, right? Or I can say a tool which is showing me the issue, right? So after I understand the architecture, I need to have a technique, or I need to learn how I can find the issue in the DB, like how to find the issue in the DB, right? So for that, there are multiple ways to do that. So to find an heart issue, do you think ECG is the only way, or do we have more ways also to find the heart issue? Is it ECG only?
We do other tests.
Right. Yes, we have something called I don't know, maybe Doppler or maybe some other tests, okay, which are there in the market. So it's not just one method. But my question to you, all of you is, but why is it that ECG is the first thing which generally many doctors give? Why do you think? What could be the
For
reasons?
diagnose,
Yeah, for diagnosis.
Basic approach.
Correct. So basic approach, right? First basic one, and it's a little cheaper compared to others, I guess. Okay, I don't know it clearly, but maybe okay, it's cheaper compared to ECG, because ECG is generally, I think it might cost 300, somewhere around that cost. But other things, maybe Doppler and other things might be higher. Okay, so yeah, so doctors generally start with this. Similarly, to find the DB issue, we have a lot of different concepts. Okay, like for example, reading an AWR report is one out of that. So there is one report called AWR report which we generate and read. In that, various aspects are there. Okay, it's a big report, like around 10-20 pages of report. And but the problem with this is, now let's say if you are just downloading this AWR report, some random AWR report from online, and you start reading it. Do you think a doctor will read this 10 to 20 page report, or he knows where to look for that one point? What do you think? Let's say there's an experienced doctor, there is a let's say some house surgeon or someone who is just entered, or he's under that doctor. Okay, this doctor, as soon as he sees that 10-20 page report, the experienced doctor, he knows, okay, he has to see in that fifth page or the fourth page, or maybe in that graph in that specific place. But that other doctor who is new to that domain, he will be going through all the 10-20 pages. Am I correct? Are you getting my point? So this AWR report, for example, it's a 10-20 page report, right? So if you don't know where to look for, or if you don't have a guidance, okay, there are so many things, but out of that, 80 to 70 percentage things are not required for us. It is required for a DBA, right? For a development purpose or different other purposes. But as a performance engineer, I need only 20 percentage of that AWR report, or I can say I need to know only that 20 percentage where I need to look into, and that we will learn, right? So let's say if I get an AWR report, how to read it, how to find out that gray area, or how to pinpoint that problematic areas, and then again deep dive, right? So AWR is one out of that. Like that, many other things also we will learn. Like for example, there are other methods like TK-Prof, tracing, auto tracing, finding out the issues from that by generating the traces, and finding out which are bad SQLs, good SQLs, many other things. Okay, so we'll try to understand whether there are any data blocks or any is there any caching issue, because there's something called a buffer cache and all those stuff. So whether there's a caching issue, so we'll try to go like that one by one from basic to advanced, right? So we'll find the issue. Now we have found the issue. Okay, what will be the next step, logical step? Like, let's say I found the issue, so I analyze. Okay, further to, okay, this is the issue, what could be the cause of this issue and all, I analyze. Okay, so how do you analyze? Can I analyze a DB query, or especially a query, without any understanding of query language? Can I do that? What do you think? Anyone?
No.
No, right? So there is a basic level of understanding required, right? So that I will give you. Okay. So what level of understanding you need? Like, for example, to read an Oracle DB or SQL DB, you need to know SQL, right? Some basics of SQL, and it's not like by hearting. There's no requirement of by hearting or memorizing anything. It's very easy. Okay, and I will give you some tricks and techniques through which you can easily remember. Like, okay, what are indexes? What are joins? What are, because you are not going to write anything. You're not a developer, right? You just need to remember things. Okay, these are the words and these are problematic. So we have a table, just match it. Okay, so that we will easily learn from this course. Okay, so how to analyze, how to read different reports, right? Because we, as I said, there are various reports. How to read those is also a challenge, right? So we need to know that. Then after analyze, what's the next step? Anyone? What's the logical step next? So let's say I identified the issue, right? Next is I need to give the recommendations, right? Like how to fix that issue. Even that I can give, right? And it is very easy when it comes to DB. It's not like any other application where you have a lot of servers, load balancer, that, this. But in DBs, giving recommendations are very easy, which you will clearly understand. Okay, because generally the problematic areas in DB will be like this 10-15 things only, right? But if you know these 10-15 things what they are, you can easily give recommendations around it, and that we will learn from the course. Okay, what they are and how to identify it and how to report it. Okay, then fifth is, see, now in DB side, okay, there is, like, you found an issue in the code or you found an issue in the, and you gave the recommendation. Now you have an option to even fix it yourself and test it, fix and test. That option is there in DB. If you have proper access and all, you can do this. Okay, and that's called as fine tuning, or we call it optimization using hints and all. Okay, that also we will learn how to patch your queries or how to fix and test it before it's deployed into production or some other environment, right? So that also we will try to learn. So this whole procedure, one till from 1 to 5th, we will learn in very detail. Okay, using the DB which we have as a hands-on. Any questions, anyone till now?
Oh,
Okay, so basically this is how our course will progress. Okay, from starting from uh, architecture, then finding issues in the DB. So in the finding in the issues in the DB, we will go through different utilities or different reporting techniques like AWR, tracing, TKprof, vSQL, reading $SQL, and different methods. Okay, then we will try to analyze it. There we will learn different optimization techniques like index usage, and we will learn about what are index usage, joins, and different problems generally developers make when writing the query. Okay, so we will try to document, I mean, like, we have a document, we will go through that one by one, and we will try to execute the queries, and we will see in live, okay, what we are seeing and how we fix it. Okay, so like, for example, I run a query, you will find, okay, yeah, the cost, generally in DBs we say cost, higher the cost, it's not good, right? So if you will clearly see, we will see this in hands-on that uh, the cost is initially high, okay, and when we fix it, the cost comes down. So that you will be clear, you will be able to see it in live, okay, how it happens. And then how to give recommendations. So for that, what all is required, and then we will move on to fix and test. We will also try to see nowadays. Kubernetes is becoming very popular, right? I mean, like, not becoming very popular, it is popular, right? So when DBs come, or like what we can say, when they are performing inside a Kubernetes cluster or they are inside a Kubernetes architecture, you have various other functionalities like auto scaling and all. I hope most of you know what is auto scaling, right? Anyone new to this cloud concepts and all? Totally new? Okay, so no issues. So whatever I will be taking here, obviously I am expecting zero knowledge in that. Okay, I take the sessions in that way so that I don't judge anyone. Okay, they know this or they know that, but I give the whole fundamentals, whatever is required for that specific topic. Okay, so no worries. So auto scaling. So how the DBs auto scale? What are sharded DBs? How they work and all those concepts also we will see. Okay, and at the end we will see different DBs, what are their differences, how they are different, what are their main differences, how you can use the knowledge which you have learned for Oracle MySQL to other DBs to apply to other DBs, right? So that also we will try to see. Yeah. So any questions, anyone till now? So just to show the core structure. Okay. So, as I said, by the end of this course, what all you will be able to. So, you will understand the architecture, you will utilize essential tools like AWR and wait events, you will analyze and improve SQL performance, then apply optimizer hints, yeah, all those stuff, okay, whatever we saw till now. Then if you go module by module, in module first, Oracle DB fundamentals we will see, then Oracle tuning we will do. Again, in that process, we will see AWR and other things. Then we will see execution plan, mastery and statistics, how you master those things, and table and index access pathways, and optimizer hints and join techniques. You will see optimizer operators. Then some advanced SQL tuning with, and this is not, I mean, like this, whatever is written here is not I will not say it's full. Okay, there are far more other things than these also which we will cover, but it's just like a summary which we have put, right. So that's why it's here. But you will learn a lot more like on the MySQL side also. Okay, what is there and various techniques how. But as I said, whatever we do in Oracle, right? It is pretty much similar with MySQL also. Only the architecture of MySQL is little different, which we will see. And also the tuning techniques, if I say 90% of the tuning techniques you can easily apply in both, it remains same, only the options will change here and there. Okay, so that we will see how to do that, okay, using MySQL workbench. Yeah, so any questions, or let's go to module 1. Okay, so let me show you how to set up that file.
Yeah, I have one question.
Yeah, go ahead, Riaz.
Yeah, because I have manual testing experience
Yeah,
and very basic testing experience of the databases. So
okay.
I also want to learn performance testing techniques for joins or maybe for the stored procedures. So Because I do not know much about stored procedures, so are we going to learn those in this course too?
Yeah. Hmm. Yes, exactly. So store procedures are very common in DBs. Okay, generally you can call store procedures as like some which we will see in detail. But for now, like functions, right? In coding languages, we have functions which you can call again and again, right? They have a specific set of queries. Like let's say some 10, 20 set of queries, you can just club it or like group it into a function sort of thing, right? It's called a store procedure, which you can call again and again wherever is required. So yes, we will see that how to optimize store procedures also, what all we need to take care when we are writing store procedures, like those things, yes, we will be covering. And as I said,
And
your first question, you are into manual testing, so no need to worry. Whatever we'll be seeing here, we will be seeing from fundamentals only. So there won't be anything which you feel, okay, totally out of the box. And if at all you feel something is out of the box or you're not understanding it, I will provide you with lot of good materials if that case comes. Okay, so maybe fundamental to that also. Like for example, like let's say maybe you don't know what DB itself is. That's also fine. Okay, so I will help you out in that case. No issues. Okay, but only thing is, um, uh, you should have that open mind to learn, right? Like
yeah,
different various things, yeah, because some maybe some little complex things might come when I teach. I mean, like, you will understand it, but only thing is you will have to like have that interest in DBs, okay, what they are. If that is there, it will be a very enjoyable ride only for you. Yes.
yeah, and are we going to learn about joins, like different
Yes,
techniques
yes,
about
yeah. Joins, without joins, there is no DB world itself, right?
yeah, yeah.
Joins, indexes, access pathways, partitioning. Yes, all this we will learn.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
there will be some assignments or like any practice
Yeah, I will give
questions.
assignments, but only thing is I generally don't get a proper response from assignments, but I give. Okay, I surely will give, and
Okay.
who all are interested, I'll be really interested to give. Okay, so what I will do is like every time when I complete one, I will not say module, but one section, right? I will give an assignment so that you can work on that and you can share the results with me. I will assess it,
Yeah.
but it's very casual only. Okay, I mean, like, there is no strict rule that you need to complete it, because all our working professionals generally have seen they cannot. Sometimes they have their own time to do things, right? So, but you always can give it to me back, and we can discuss. Okay. So let's dive into today's session. Okay, so what do you think? Like, Oracle is a paid DB tool, right? So do we need to tune Oracle? Because it's a paid thing already. Oracle would have thought about things, lot of things, and why do I need to tune it? Why do you think? Anyone? I hope you got my question, right? Anyone? Any answers is fine. Okay, we are all here to learn. Even it's the most dumbest question, it's a question. Okay, something we will get out of it. So just feel free, like all are like your friends here. Okay, just let's discuss things, let's clear our queries, let's learn together, right? So yeah, go ahead, anything. If it is not relatable also, I'm fine with it. Okay.
So, according to my view, yes, I mean, Oracle might be a very strong database in terms of maintaining its data, but
Yeah.
in terms of tuning, it's obviously necessary because how quickly or because there might be some preset options which will come if we fine tune them. Obviously, the way we wanted to extract the data out of it and how fast will be able to retrieve it, it should be customized, and that's how I think a paid tool should offer.
Correct. Yeah. So see, what happens is, if you're working or even like what happens is, there are a lot of performance issues about the queries which are written, right? And there is like massive amount of data which is being operated by these queries. Now, what happens with the developers is generally they don't think about performance when they develop it. Okay, so for example, now they are writing. Now, how will I? How when I'm trying to get some output, I won't be thinking much on. Okay, there are 2 3 ways. Like let's say I want to go to a place called, let's say, Mumbai. Okay, now I can go to Mumbai. Let's say from let's say south through Konkan Railway. I can go to Mumbai from Southern Railway, but if I am a developer, I might use sometimes Southern Railway, I might use sometime Konkan Railway. But if someone has visited to Mumbai from south, they will know that Konkan Railway is faster than Southern Railway, right? So, but when someone's goal is just to reach the destination, he will not be worried about whether it's Southern or Konkan. But that is our worry, right? Because as a performance engineer, I need to worry about that. Okay, that I need to reach Mumbai faster. So I need to then give recommendation to developer. Okay, you have both the routes, right? Go through Konkan then, right? So that's the logic behind optimization of anything, right? When a developer develops something, it is just like they have in mind is just the output. Okay, but as a tester, it's our duty or our ability which will help them to choose which is the most well performing code or query, okay, which is required. That is one thing. So whether it's an Oracle paid one or it's a DynamoDB, anything, whatever code is written or like whatever is getting developed, right? It is developed by people, right? And people do make mistakes. And also it is very much custom made, right? Oracle cannot do anything about it. Like let's say my company is Amazon and there is one more company, Google. Both of their code will be different. So Oracle cannot optimize things for all the companies, right? There will be custom solutions, or I mean like there will be custom issues, right, which will come due to Google's code or due to Amazon's code. So Oracle cannot help with it. So that is also an issue why generally 90% of time, though Oracle is a paid thing and all those stuff, we do see issues. It's not that we don't see issues, we see issues. And but thankfully we have solution to most of the issues, right? Yeah. Now see, when you are keeping SQL tuning in mind, right? First of all, Oracle is a very strong database. Now, when I say very strong database, there are a lot of options to tune Oracle. Okay, and Oracle has a very long history of DB, right? If someone speaks about DB, Oracle has been the strongest DB after MySQL or maybe equal to MySQL, right? So Oracle is a very strong DB. When I say this sentence, why I say this sentence is because there are a lot of tuning concepts which Oracle gives us, okay, or lot of tweaks which you can do, okay, easily and make your DB performance fly, right? Similarly, if you know to do small tweaks, right? Let's say my DB is using 10 CPUs. Okay, and if I can tweak my DB, or if I'm a very good performance engineer, I can bring that 10 CPUs which my DB is using to just 2 or 3. What do you think? Will I be able to do that if I know how to tune DBs? Or is it like an exaggerated statement, 10 to 3? What do you think? Would it happen?
Maybe not.
Uh, So the thing is, yes, we can. Okay, I have seen it in my experience also. So generally, what happens is there are some queries which take 15 seconds, 20 seconds sometimes. Okay, due to just a small statement like a select star statement or a small issue in what some joins which the developers would have made, the order of the join what they would have used, or some wrong access pathways what they have used, right? Due to that, that 20 seconds will come down to just 1 second or below 1 second. Okay. Now think about this 20 seconds is for one user. Now, when the traffic will be there, do you think this 20 seconds will remain at 20 seconds? What do you think? Will it increase or reduce?
It will increase.
It will increase, right? And when this increase happens, is it only the response time increasing or the resource utilization also? Because this DB is running on some CPU, RAM, right? So obviously the resource utilization will also increase, because for 20 seconds your DB is open, right? I mean, like, your objects are still in the RAM or in the memory, right? So that much heap will get accumulated. Okay, I'm not using very heavy jargons of performance engineering, but ultimately what I'm saying is, more the time your DB spends, right, on processing or something, more resources you require. So if you bring down that time which the DB is utilizing for processing, you are automatically bringing down the resource utilization also in that same percentage. And that's the beauty of DB tuning. Okay.
Could you
And
please
obviously it
explain
is
that?
very easy to learn. Yeah.
Which, you mentioned that how much time the TV is up and running for serving the
Mhm.
query, right? That much
Yeah.
amount of resource utilization is happening. Could you
Correct.
please elaborate on that? Why so?
Yeah. So see, uh, we will see this in detail, but for now, very quickly, if I give you an overview, see what happens is, like, let's say if I have some, there is a function which I wrote in my code, and it's fetching some data from the DB using a query, and that query is taking 20 seconds. So till that query is executed fully in the server, and till I don't get the data back, that object which was created in the function will remain in the RAM, the memory pool. Okay, so the RAM, now this 20 seconds it is there. Again, new objects are getting created. So it's getting added. Now all the objects which are getting created in that 20 seconds will remain inside the memory itself, right? But if the query was just 1 second, what will happen is, after 1 second it gets cleared, right? It gets cleared in from the memory. So generally what happens is, there's some garbage collection and all which will happen inside the RAM memory. So ultimately simple, just remember like this, or just understand like this. So if your objects remain in your RAM memory for a longer duration, your RAM utilization will keep like increasing, right? So you need to reduce that time, how, for how much time that object remains in the RAM or the memory. So that way your resources will be available for other objects which are coming in the, like, in the chain, right? Are you getting there? Got my point?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So ultimately you reduce the time, so that much time it will not remain. So, like, let's say if it's 20 seconds, it will remain in your RAM, or it will you keep using your CPU for that much time, right? So if it is just 1 second, it will use only for that much time. So more the time it utilizes, it's not available for other resources. Clear?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So right. So now, what are the prerequisites, right? Like, now, let's say I said all this. Okay, Oracle is strong, better performance, easy to learn. But what are the prerequisites? What that I should have to do these things? So one is, you need to know the basics of database architecture, as we already saw, right? We need to know how the database works. What are its like, what are the various architectural components, how they perform, like, what are the concepts behind those things, right? So yeah, so those things we need to understand, right? Then next is, we need to know SQL tuning, like, it needs little bit of expertise in SQL, right? So what are those SQL areas, or what are those small things which we need to keep it like a cheat sheet with us, that we will try to see. Yeah, these things, I guess, we will start. It's almost 10 now. So this next section we will start tomorrow. We will see the database architecture of both MySQL and Oracle. First, we will finish Oracle, then we will jump to MySQL. So in that way, we will have a proper comparison of both. So we will go in this course in that way only. Okay, we will be switching between MySQL and Oracle. So in that way, you have both the comparisons. Yeah. Any questions, anyone till now? And tomorrow what we will see is, we will see how to set up the image, okay, and how to run these, like, how to set up our hands-on environment. that we will see tomorrow, and also how to upload the image and to the VirtualBox, how to install VirtualBox, upload the image and run our DB, okay, on which we will do the hands-on, and then also the architecture wise we will try see. Okay. Yeah, Aitya, Patan, Rohit, Sumi, Riyaz, Dev, any questions? Yeah, or else let's stop it here for today and let's continue tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all and have a
Thank
good
you.
day and good night.